Hey there, Jimmy the K with another installment of the Jimmy the K Sports Show. I'm so glad that you joined us this week on the show brought to you in part by my name, Jimmy the K. Oh, wow. How's your week been going this week? My week's been going okay, I guess. You have a 2.5-month-old, mama's going back to work. It's her first week back. Things are, a little different nowadays. But what has been going on in the sports world? All kinds of sports news has been going on. I want to start off with my thoughts on the fact that the Dallas Mavericks acquiring Tyson Chandler and winning the bid for Chandler Parsons, former Houston Rockets. My thoughts on these deals is a pretty good doggone deal done by the Dallas Mavericks. A lot of people in the sports world don't necessarily think Dallas had an A plus free agent signing period or whatever, and it's still more to come. But to be quite honest with you, they did get better. A lot of people in Houston should be very disappointed that they did not sign Tyson or they did not sign Chandler Parsons. The fact was they were sitting around waiting on Chris Bosh, whom I'm going to say here on my show is very washed up. A 5-year, $118 million deal with the Miami Heat. That's a stupid deal. Stupid. Stupid, stupid. Even the 4 years and $88 million that the Rockets were offering him would have been stupid. But the truth of the matter is, the fact is, they were waiting on Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh didn't bite. Dallas had a 4 or 5 year deal on the table with $44, $45 million. And Houston still didn't bite. They still think that they're better off without Chandler Parsons. And to be quite honest with you, I think they're wrong. I think Chandler Parsons is going to come to the Mavericks organization rejuvenated. He's going to have a chip on his shoulder, especially when he's playing his former club, the Houston Rockets. He's going to have a huge chip on his shoulder. And for somebody to come out publicly, and Dwight Howard and coming out publicly and stating that, we're better off without Chandler Parsons than what we are with him, then that's just plain stupid in my opinion. The Mavs stole Chandler Parsons away from the Houston Rockets. They could have easily signed him or matched the offer of the Dallas Mavericks. He would have probably taken it. But instead, they waited around for Chris Bosh, and they're like, well, Chris Bosh is not going to sign, but, let's just wait around and hope a golden chip will fall down from the sky and fall into our laps. Daryl Morey's a heck of a GM over in Houston, don't get me wrong. But this is one deal that got away. One deal that could very well bite them in their back end to very well hurt the Houston Rockets, playoff chances or, even NBA Western Conference champs or conference, the fact that they won't be able to fight against the big guns. Because, Tyson Chandler Parsons by Dallas, along with Dirk Nowitzki. You've got other guys over there in Dallas that can really play quite well. You've got Houston Rockets, who now just have Dwight Howard, James Harden, Beverly Mitchell, or whatever his name is, Mitchell Beverly, or whatever his name is. Not very good. They think he's the best, but guess what? He's not. Guess what? Chandler Parsons would have been 10 times better than him. And I really feel very, very confident that the Houston Rockets would have been extremely good with him. Instead, the Dallas Mavericks just got better with the acquisition of Chandler Parsons and Tyson Chandler. So, the West is going to be up. Oklahoma City has not done a lot. I could very well see Dallas along with San Antonio and Houston and, Oklahoma City not quite there where they need to be. Um, those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts on the acquisition of Tyson Chandler and Chandler Parsons from by the Dallas Mavericks? Do you think the Houston Rockets made a bad decision and not matching the offer for Chandler Parsons, or do you think it was a good decision? If so, give me your reasons. Let's discuss this. Just because I'm the host of the show doesn't mean that I'm always right. But what I can tell you is that I think the Mavs won the big deal on this. What are your thoughts? You know how to get in touch with me. That's my thoughts on the Tyson Chandler and Chandler Parsons acquisition by the Dallas Mavericks. In other sports news, let's look at this. There have been rumors going around the last day and a half that the Anaheim Angels were very close to doing a deal for Houston Street of the San Diego Padres, and that deal fell through, or that deal went through as of today in a 6-player trade. Now, this 6-player trade, as I'm going to go over some of the stats with you here, the deal was completed and announced early Saturday morning, with Houston Street and minor leaguer Trevor Gott going to the Angels in exchange for Taylor Lindsey, Jose Rondon, R.J. Alvarez, and Elliot Morris. Street, who's 30 years old, has converted 24 of 25 saves. His ERA is a 1.09, a .76 WHIP, 34 strikeouts against only 7 walks in 33 innings pitched. He's been a rookie since his rookie season. He saved 258 games and 300 chances. That's an 86% rate with a 2.87 ERA in his career. He's a 2-time All-Star. He's also familiar with the AL West, spending his first 4 seasons of his career with the Oakland Athletics, as Athletics fans would notice. The move basically puts him in a closer role with Joe Smith, Kevin Jepsen, and the recently acquired Jason Grilli. Possible setup options. The Angels actually entered the AL West Saturday night with the second best record in the majors, but are amongst AL teams for the most blown saves. The Astros, the White Sox, and the A's had more blown saves than them. Looking at the Padres' return, Lindsey is 22 years old. He's 247, 323, 400 with 13 doubles, 4 triples, 8 homers, 30 RBIs, 50 runs, and 7 steals in 75 games for AAA Salt Lake this season. He was a sandwich pick in the 2010 draft, 37th overall, and ranked 93rd in baseball's America's prospect baseball into the season. He's only played second base and DH in the minors. Rondon is 20 years old, shortstop, who's got 17 doubles, 5 triples, 0 homers, 24 RBIs, 40 runs, 8 steals, and high A. Alvarez, 23, right-handed reliever, a .33 ERA, .85 WHIP, and 38 strikeouts in 27 innings at AA this season. Then Morris is 22, 6'4", right-handed pitcher, 5'4", 3.27 ERA, 125 WHIP, 84 strikeouts, and 85 in the 3rd innings for low A and high A this season. the Angels get God, who's 21-year-old right-handed reliever and 39 outing appearances in High A this year, and 29 of those being in High A, 10 of those being in Double A. He has 16 saves, a 3.56 ERA, 42 strikeouts in 43 innings. What are my thoughts on this deal? My thoughts on this deal is, to be quite honest with you, I think the Angels gave away way too much for Houston Street. Houston Street is a very good closer, do not get me wrong. One that is familiar, as I said earlier, with the AL West pitching his first 4 major league seasons with the Oakland Athletics. But the question is, will he go to the A's, or will he go to the Angels, and continue to prove what he's proved so well in San Diego and other places that he's played, that he's an elite closer? Is this a good deal, in my opinion, for the Angels? Definitely. I really do feel like this is a good deal. This could definitely put them up there. They're fighting right now with the Oakland Athletics for the top spot in the AL West. You got Texas at the bottom. You got Houston next to last. Third place is Seattle. Seattle has been in talks, believe it or not, for both Matt Kemp and David Price. If both those deals go through, then you'll have a 3-way race going into, the pennant races for the AL West with Oakland, Seattle, and Anaheim. So the AL West is starting to stack up, but believe it or not, Texas is at the bottom with Houston following close behind. Texas has been hampered by injuries again today. Alex Rios twisted his ankle in Toronto. He's day-to-day. This is not looking good for the Rangers. If you're Texas, you've already traded Jason Frazier to Toronto for Steve Patton. There's talks that Texas is listed on every player on their roster, including Yu Darvish and Adrian Beltre. The truth of the matter is, with Adrian Beltre and Yu Darvish, is they've already stated that the deal would have to overwhelm them for them to deal Darvish or Adrian Beltre. The truth of the matter is, they're not going to deal them. But what this proves to me, as a baseball fan and as a Ranger fan, is that John Daniels is listening on every player with the exception of Yu Darvish and Adrian Beltre, including Elvis Andrus. Elvis Andrus' name has been brought up, but the return would have to be great. Excuse me. For the Rangers to pull a trigger on that deal. The only bad problem with the deal with Elvis Andrus is the fact that they would also have to eat a good chunk, if not the majority of the chunk, of the remaining contract that he's got. So do I see a deal for Elvis Andrus going through? More than likely not. But everyone else is on the trade block, believe it or not, for Texas. What other sports news has been going on? All kinds of sports news this week. If there's sports subjects that I'm not getting to here on the show, feel free to email me. Hit me up on Facebook. Remember, you can like our page at facebook.com/allaboutsportszone. We had a couple of new likes this week from people in the Houston area, people that have been passed on to friends and other stuff. I appreciate the likes, and I would definitely like to hear from you. Is there more stuff sports-wise that you would like for me to discuss? If so, hit me up on Facebook. Hit me up at Gmail, allaboutsportszone@gmail.com, or at Twitter at JimmyKersey1. Hit me up with your sports news. Hit me with the feeds. Comment with a feed of a sports show or sports topic that you definitely like for me to get to, and I definitely love to do that for you, the the sports fan, because this show's not only for me, it's for you, and it's more for you. So I thank you each and every week for listening. Let's look and see what other things have happened in the sports world. Other than those two things, there's been all kinds of things going on this week. You know, the Texas Rangers and the Detroit Tigers, going back to the Rangers, have been discussing Joakim Soria. Texas wants two of the three top prospects in return. Do I see a deal going through? Quite possibly. But, John Daniels has to do his homework before pulling the trigger on any players with Detroit, because Prince Fielder was traded hurt. And I want him to do his homework before pulling the trigger on any player that he'll acquire from Detroit before trading them away. And in a sudden change of events, for the longest time, we know LeBron James signed with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And ever since then, we've heard a lot about Kevin Love wanting to play with the great LeBron, King James. Last week, rumor had it that the Cavaliers would not shop Andrew Wiggins, their number one pick. In a sudden turn of events this week, that has changed. They are willing to shop and willing to include Andrew Wiggins, willing to include another top prospect that they drafted this year, include a draft pick for next year, and something else to get Kevin Love, maybe another draft pick the year after. But in a sudden turn of events, it looks very, very possible that more than likely Kevin Love is going to wind up in a Cavs uniform. Right now, the Cavs are definitely not going to be a playoff team. Kevin Love gets acquired by the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I could very well see the Cleveland Cavaliers becoming favorites to win the Eastern Conference Championship. Very well see that. So, does it happen? I think it does. I think it could be one of those deadline deals where right at the last minute, at the last buzzer, things happen. But I could very well see this happening. And a lot of people out there don't think Andrew Wiggins is good enough. I beg to differ. Andrew Wiggins has proven so far through the NBA Rookie Summer League, that he can play with the best of the best. So, question is, are they going to deal him or not? That's the big question. So, with that being said, we'll definitely see if there's any other rumors flying around Major League Baseball, the NBA. Believe it or not, the Phillies have said that they are more likely to trade Cliff Lee than Cole Hamels. So if you're a Phillies fan out there, look to see Cliff Lee possibly traded at the deadline and not Cole Hamels. The Cole Hamels deal would have to, overwhelm them to get them a deal. So we're checking out sports news here. Here's what we do know about the Rangers. The Rangers believe, and this is quoted from John Daniels, the Rangers believe they can be competitive in 2015 and therefore won't be trading players like Yu Darvish, Adrian Beltre, or Elvis Andrus. Even with the number of talented young infielders in their system, they don't want to trade Andrus who is an important figure in their clubhouse. They will, however, consider dealing Joakim Soria and Alex Rios. The Tigers have shown, as I've stated earlier, interest in Soria, and the Mariners, Blue Jays, Giants, or Royals could all be great fits for Rios. Believe it, Neil Cox could also fetch a nice return for Texas. So those are all definitely big names out there that are possibly be traded by Texas, but the bigger names will not be traded. That's already been stated. The Phillies and the Orioles have discussed an A.J. Burnett trade. They've had very preliminary talks about the trade involving starting pitcher A.J. Burnett. The Phillies emphasize that there has not yet been much progress made towards a deal. He's got Burnett, who's making $7.5 million this year, and a $7.5 million signing bonus. Has complex player mutual option that guarantees him at least $7.5 million in 2015 if he pitches. So Burnett, 37 right now, has posted a 4.08 ERA, 7.4 strikeouts in 9 innings with 3.8 walks per 9 innings this season for the Phillies. His ERA and his peripheral numbers have taken a step backwards after a strong 2013 season. So they've both discussed stuff like that. I want to talk a little bit about the Astros not signing their first-round pick. There's been a lot of flack going around with Astros general manager Jeff Luhnow, about the fact that he did not sign Brady Aiken, the first-round pick. Well, guess what, guys? They did a physical on the boy. The physical showed a tear, and, Aiken's advisor, Casey Close, ripped the Astros general manager for leaking the results of his physical and suggested teams dislike the Astros' approach in dealing with the negotiations. Well, guess what? If I'm a general manager of an organization and I look at a first-round pick's medical records and it shows that he's got a tear of some sort, or there's some concern about that first-round pick, then I'm not signing him. The Astros made several attempts to sign him. They made 3 offers. They made 3 offers with the last 15 minutes left, and he took none of them. They made an offer with 5 minutes left on the clock, and he did not take one of them. He wants this young man, Brady Aiken, because Casey Close wants a little bit of money in his pocket. Wants a big signing bonus when the medical records show the Astros organization, including general manager Jeff Luhnow and top exec, the scouts know what's going on. These medical doctors can read these medical sheets and say, hey, this physical is flawed. This could give you problems. This could very well hurt your team this year, next year, years to come. But instead, you've got Aiken and his agent, Casey Close, balking and BSing at the fact that the Astros did not sign him or attempt to sign him, which is a load of BS yet again. Because the Astros made several attempts to sign him, but instead of taking their deals, they whined about how bad they were, all right? So, how bad of a deal is it for the Houston Astros? It's not a bad deal. At the end of the day, who loses in this situation? Do the Astros lose? Or do Brady Aiken and his agent, Casey Close, lose? I guarantee you, the two people that lose, Brady Aiken and Casey Close, not the Houston Astros. Because the Houston Astros did the smart thing in not signing their first round pick who showed concerns during their physical. There's flaws in the physical. I'm not going to sign you. Stop BSing about it. So with that being said, I am your host, Jimmy the K. I want to know the sports news that you want to hear about. You have 3 simple ways to get in touch with me. Very simple. You can like our Facebook page. Simply go to facebook.com and in your search engine type in All About Sports Zone, or go to facebook.com/All About Sports Zone. Like the page. Message us on the page or comment on any of the articles with any sports questions or concerns that you have. You can send us a message at Twitter at JimmyKersey1. Send a message that way with your sports news. Or you can email us your sports questions at allaboutsportszone. That's one word, allaboutsportszone@gmail.com. And we'll get to your questions on an upcoming show. I thank you again for listening. And remember, you have until Monday to enter to win this DVD box set of The King of Queens. It's the complete series. If you like our Facebook page, simply just like our Facebook page and ask us a question on our Facebook page, whether it be messaging us or asking in a comment section of one of the posts that we put up. You are simply entered to win this box set of King of Queens. You have until Monday to enter to win. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and until next week, 9 p.m. Central Daylight Time, I'm Jimmy the K. Until next week, peace out.